Welcome to Farm Wisdom. Hello and welcome to Farm Wisdom, your ultimate resource for all things farming. Today, we're diving into a very important topic. What are the common mistakes in poultry farming? Whether you're just starting your poultry farming journey or have been at it for a while, understanding common mistakes and how to avoid them is critical for your farm's success. These mistakes, if left unchecked, can lead to poor flock health, reduced egg production, financial losses, and ultimately a failed venture. Stick around as we take you through the top mistakes made by poultry farmers and how to avoid them, ensuring your birds thrive and your farm prospers. And remember to subscribe to Farm Wisdom for more insightful tips and strategies that will help you grow your farm into a thriving business. One, poor brooder management. The first critical stage of poultry farming starts with the brooder. A brooder is the heated space where newly hatched chicks are kept. One of the most common mistakes is mismanaging the brooder temperature. Too hot and you risk heat stress in chicks. Too cold and they could suffer from hypothermia. How to avoid this mistake? Always maintain an optimal temperature for chicks, which is generally around 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Celsius, in the first week, gradually decreasing by 5 degrees Fahrenheit each week. Ensure there is enough space for chicks to move away from the heat source if they feel too warm, and vice versa. Monitor the behavior of chicks. Huddling together indicates cold, while spreading out too far may indicate overheating. Overcrowding is one of the most frequent mistakes in poultry farming. Overcrowded birds are prone to diseases, feather pecking, and even cannibalism. It also increases competition for food and water, leading to poor growth and egg production. How to avoid this mistake? Follow the recommended space guidelines for different breeds. As a rule of thumb, allow about 2 square feet per bird for layers and 3 square feet per bird for broilers. Ensure that feeders and waterers are adequately spaced to prevent birds from competing for resources. Poor ventilation in poultry houses. Poor ventilation can lead to a buildup of ammonia, carbon dioxide, and other harmful gases, which cause respiratory problems in birds. Lack of fresh air can also result in damp conditions, creating the perfect breeding ground for diseases like coccidiosis. How to avoid this mistake? Make sure the poultry house is well ventilated. Use fans or open windows to maintain airflow and remove moisture from the environment. Regularly check for ammonia smells, which is an indication of poor ventilation. Ammonia buildup can cause damage to the bird's respiratory system. Improper feeding practices. Another common mistake is improper feeding, which can lead to malnutrition or obesity in birds. Overfeeding, underfeeding, or feeding the wrong types of food can affect growth, egg production, and overall health. How to avoid this mistake? Feed your poultry a balanced diet specific to their needs. For instance, layers need more calcium, while broilers need more protein. Avoid feeding birds low-quality feed, which may lack essential nutrients. Regularly adjust feed amounts as the birds grow, and provide supplements when necessary. Neglecting biosecurity measures. Biosecurity is essential in poultry farming to prevent diseases from spreading within your flock. However, many farmers neglect these measures, resulting in devastating losses. How to avoid this mistake? Limit visitors to your farm, especially those who have been in contact with other poultry farms. Disinfect shoes, hands, and equipment before entering the poultry house. Quarantine new birds for at least 2 weeks before introducing them to the flock. Regularly clean and sanitize feeders, waterers, and the poultry house. Inadequate water supply. Water is as essential as feed for poultry, yet it's often overlooked. Insufficient water supply, especially in hot conditions, can lead to dehydration, reduced feed intake, and slower growth. How to avoid this mistake? Ensure that your birds have constant access to fresh, clean water. Increase water availability during hot weather. Regularly clean water to prevent the growth of algae or bacteria. early signs of disease. One of the costliest mistakes in poultry farming is ignoring early signs of illness. Chickens can hide symptoms of diseases until it's too late, and by then, the entire flock might be affected. How to avoid this mistake? Observe your birds daily for any unusual behavior, such as lethargy, loss of appetite, coughing, or abnormal droppings. Isolate sick birds immediately to prevent the disease from spreading. Consult a veterinarian promptly if you notice signs of disease. 8. Overlooking proper lighting. Lighting plays a crucial role in the productivity of layers. Many farmers overlook the importance of consistent lighting, especially during shorter daylight periods, resulting in reduced egg production. How to avoid this mistake? Ensure that your layers receive 14 to 16 hours of light daily to maintain egg production. Use artificial lighting in the winter months to compensate for the reduced daylight hours. Gradually increase or decrease light exposure to avoid shocking the bird's natural rhythm. Nine, failing to keep records. Record keeping is crucial in poultry farming, yet many farmers do not keep track of their flock's health, production, and expenses. Without proper records, it's difficult to identify problems early and make informed decisions. How to avoid this mistake? Maintain a log of feed consumption, mortality rates, egg production, and health checks. Keep financial records to track costs and profitability. Use this data to identify trends and make necessary adjustments in management. Ten, buying cheap, low-quality chicks. Starting your farm with cheap, low-quality chicks may save you money initially, but it often leads to higher mortality rates, slower growth, and poor egg production. How to avoid this mistake? Purchase chicks from reputable hatcheries or suppliers with a history of producing healthy birds. Ensure that the chicks have been vaccinated and are from good breeding stock. Avoid mixing breeds that are not compatible or suited to your farming objectives. Overuse or misuse of antibiotics. Overusing antibiotics can lead to resistance, making diseases harder to treat in the future. Misusing antibiotics, such as not completing the recommended course, can also lead to recurring infections. How to avoid this mistake? Use antibiotics only when prescribed by a veterinarian. Always complete the full course of treatment, even if the birds appear to recover early. Focus on preventive measures, such as proper hygiene, nutrition, and biosecurity to reduce the need for antibiotics. Not rotating pastures for free-range systems. For farmers who raise free-range poultry, failing to rotate pastures can lead to overgrazing, soil degradation, and the buildup of parasites. How to avoid this mistake? Divide your pasture into sections and rotate your birds regularly to allow the grass to recover. Ensure that the pasture is well drained to avoid muddy conditions that can harbor bacteria and parasites. Thank you so much for tuning in to this in-depth guide on common mistakes in poultry farming. By avoiding these pitfalls, you can ensure your flock remains healthy and productive and your poultry business continues to thrive. Remember, successful poultry farming is all about consistency, attention to detail, and a commitment to your bird's welfare. Whether you're raising chickens for eggs or meat, avoiding these common mistakes will save you time, money, and heartache in the long run. Don't forget to subscribe to Farm Wisdom for more helpful tips, expert advice, and all the information you need to take your farm to the next level. We'll be back soon with more valuable content to help your farm flourish. Until then, happy farming, and see you next time.